Man, am I surprised right now! Hello, 안녕하세요. I'm Sean the Rage. Welcome to Cinemarea, where we only talk about South Korean movies and dramas. I'm gonna be really honest. I didn't want to talk about today's movie. I just sat down to watch it. But after seeing it, I realized I probably have a lot to say about it. So let's take a look at director Hong Sang-soo's 2015 drama, Right Now, Wrong Then, or 지금은맞고그때는틀리다. The movie stars two amazing actors. Actually, they're the reason I started watching this, namely Jeong Jae-young, who was amazing in Broken and Shiemido and every other movie he's in, and min-hee, who's probably most known from The Handmaiden. Right Now, Wrong Then is a very simple story about a movie director who travels to Suwon city to promote his film. But since he gets there a day early, he's just walking around the city. He meets a young painter played by min-hee. They start talking, to the point where they talk all day and have a lot of drinks together. Everything goes really well until they end up at a small gathering where certain things are revealed about the director, so the day doesn't really end well for them. The next day, the director goes back to Seoul. But then the day starts over again. Honestly, I was blown away by this movie on so many levels, but the first thing that struck me was how this film was made. More precisely, how it was filmed. This is the first movie I've seen from director Hong Sang-soo, but based on this, I'm gonna have to dig deeper into his filmography. I actually read a little bit about him, and it seems that the way this film was made is his signature way of filming. So I might get tired of his formula, but since it was the first time, it was riveting. On the surface, this is such a simple movie. It's nothing but a string of dialogue scenes at ordinary everyday locations. But this movie is anything but simple. Like I said, this is a very dialogue-heavy movie, and I loved how the camera work reflected the way of the dialogues between the characters. One, there are very few cuts in this movie, at least it seems that way. There's a lot of long, uncut takes with the main characters talking to each other, and instead of using the shot-reverse shot formula, they film these scenes in wide shots. And when the characters are getting closer to each other, the camera just simply zooms in, or zooms out if the conversation is getting a bit uncomfortable. Or zooms in on one character when the character starts to open up about himself or herself. It was such a refreshing approach for me. Sometimes I get really tired the way dialogues are filmed in movies, so in that sense, this movie was really a breath of fresh air. It seems so very simple, but it's absolutely not. And in order for a filmmaking concept like this to work, you need great actors, like Jeong Jae-young and min-hee. The acting I thought was out of this world, especially on Jeong Jae-young's part, who spends quite a lot of time drunk in this movie, and he was absolutely fantastic. But like I said, this movie has a lot of long, uninterrupted takes, and the way these actors were able to make these conversations natural is just beyond belief. It really seemed as though they were just two people who have just met and they're getting to know each other. If the acting wasn't as strong as it was, I'm pretty sure I would have tuned out of this film. But Right Now, Wrong Then is also a very layered film. You can watch it as a sort of Groundhog Day-like film, where a day repeats itself, but honestly, I don't think that the day repeats itself here. The movie is divided into two acts, the two acts being the same day acted out a little differently, but I think it's just two different perspectives on the same encounter. And it says so much about relationships. I don't mean romantic relationships, I mean human relationships. It gets real philosophical about how lying can take you to a certain place and quite possibly fail miserably by the end. Or take the honest route, which can be a lot rockier, but in the end, overall, probably that's the best thing that you can do for yourself and for the other person, whoever it might be. And these are choices we have to make each and every day. The movie actually says a lot about how we live our lives, and if you're just slightly a self-reflective person, will make you think about how you navigate yourself through your relationships in life. And this is all achieved by great actors having everyday conversations. Honestly, on paper, I should hate this movie. Usually I like my movies to be a bit more eventful, and yet I was riveted by this movie. It was such a unique experience. And of course, you can watch it and just enjoy the conversations, but like I said, there are so many layers to this movie that quite possibly I could rewatch it and discover a lot of new things in it. I guess this is the perfect case when entertainment becomes art. Amazing movie. I love Korean cinema so much. But okay, let's be objective for a second. This movie is not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. It's really just people sitting and talking, walking and talking, drinking and talking. You get the idea. If you're looking for something fast and flashy, avoid this movie like a plague. It's not for you. And it's not something I could watch any day either. But on a quiet, lonely night, this might be the best movie you could watch. I'm quite hesitant as to how to rate this movie because, honestly, I can't really find any flaw in this. But if I think about watching it again, well, I'm gonna have to be in a very certain mood. So because of this, I'm only gonna give Right Now Wrong Then 94%. This is possibly the best performance I've seen from Jeong Jae-young. The movie, although seems very simple on the surface, is actually really thought-provoking. Love the dialogues, love the long uninterrupted scenes, love the cinematography. After I watched it, I just sat in silence for like a good half an hour. It had a serious, positive, effect on me, as all great movies do. I don't know what else to say. This is a great movie. Go watch it. 여러분, 오늘은 여기까지만 해요. 영상 봐주셔서 감사합니다. 이 영상 좋아하면 구독해주세요. See you very soon. 다음 시간에 만나요. Bye!